158. So at the top of the page, right, you see those words in red, may Mary who bore you, John who baptized you. That's what the priest says. And that is because at the very beginning of the liturgy, we establish that the church who is beginning worship, is it just here in this church in St. John's, Orangeburg? Is it just us that are doing the Qurbana? Is it? I see someone shaking his head. No. Good answer, right? It seems like it's just us. When we celebrate the Holy Qurbana, it's everybody. Everybody in other churches, and also the departed, those who have died before us, and the saints and the angels, all the hosts of heaven. We're all worshiping together. So that's why this prayer is so important, and it begins the Qurbana. 158. 158. Okay. And then after the priest says that, then we begin this song on page 158. Quick question. Who wrote this song? Hint, if you read closely, you'll find it. This hymn, by the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints, I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son. Sounds familiar, hopefully. Anybody know who wrote it? I'll give you a hint. It's right there. By a saint named Saint or more, Severus. Not Severus from Harry Potter. Saint Severus, who lived 1,500 years ago. He wrote this 1,500 years ago, and we still sing it every Sunday. A very important saint for us named Saint Severus, all right? So the beginning of the liturgy, the priest prayers, and then this hymn, the manitho. Manitho is a Syriac word that just means basically praise. The praise of Saint Severus, the praise written by Saint Severus. 158. Do you need help, sweetheart? I can help you. 158. Take my book. All right. Who do you think the song is about? Who's the prayer about? What do you think, sweetheart? Sure. Who's this prayer about at 158? This hymn that we sing. What's that? It's about Jesus. Exactly. Right? It's just that easy. It's about Jesus. So this hymn describes who he is. It describes who Christ is. Who's this Christ we're worshiping? We just began the liturgy. We opened the curtain. We asked the saints to pray for us to God. No, which God? Who are we talking about? What is he like? Who is he? This song describes him. I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten, Word of the Father, immortal, who by his grace descended for all mankind to bring life and salvation for our fallen human race, who was born of the Virgin, etc., etc., was crucified for us, etc., etc. That's describing who this person is that we're worshiping, who this God is, right? So the beginning of the liturgy, who's Christ? It's this guy that we're singing about, okay? There's two melodies you can sing to this. The traditional one, which we'll do first. There's a newer one that a lot of people do. I think you guys do it here a lot. So Achan asked me to teach you that one too. We'll see how far we get. We'll do the traditional melody first. All right, and again, you guys know this, so it should come pretty easily, but we just have to get used to the different translation that you might be used to, okay? So 158, ready? So the first two lines, by the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints. I want you guys to sing that now, ready? 1, 2, 3, and by the... Very nice. Can you sing a little bit louder? I know you guys are tired. It's been a long day. 1, 2, 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, and
by the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints.
Perfect, perfect. Now, those of you who were here last month, remember, I think I talked about how the music of the church has very strict rules and syllable counts that can help you learn, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7, 8, or 9. This is one hymn that doesn't follow that rule. It's an exception. So it's a little harder to get a hold of, but since we know it and we're so familiar with it, it'll help, okay? So I'm just going to start singing. We're going to start singing those first two lines, by the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints. And then we're going to see how far we can get, right? And then we'll break it down as we need to, line by line, okay? 1, 2, we'll go slow. 3, and by the
prayers
prayers
of your mother and those of all your saints.
I exalt
Exalt you, Lord and King,
the only begotten Son, Word of the Father. Okay, stop there. Good job. Excellent. So look at the underlines, and that'll help you. So that you see that the word is underlined. So pay attention to that. That's supposed to help us, right? In the song a little easier. I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father, underline of the Father. So when you see the underlines, it's giving you a clue. Okay, hold this note out, right? You're gonna hold it a little bit longer than the others. Okay, so let's do just that. Word of the Father. So from the very beginning, by the prayers of your mother, through word of the Father, then we'll stop. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and by
the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints, I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father.
Good. Little confusion on that only begotten Son line, but you almost got it. So I exalt you, Lord and King, and it's the same thing. The only begotten Son, do 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 do. Right? Same. I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father. So let's just do from I exalt you, Lord and King together until Word of the Father, right? 1, 2, 3, and I
exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father.
Perfect. Okay. Now these next two lines. Immortal in his nature and who by his grace. There's another underlined word there. By, right? Immortal in his nature and who by his grace. All together. 1, 2, 3. From immortal.
Immortal in his nature and who by his grace.
By his grace. Okay, ready? Again. 1, 2, 3, and immortal in his nature and who by his grace. Everybody look at me. Immortal in his nature and who by his grace. Follow my hand, okay? Again. 1, 2, 3, and immortal in
his nature and who by his grace.
Not up, not by his grace, by his grace. Right? So we're going, so we're following my hand here, right? Up the ladder and down the ladder. Immortal in his nature and who by his grace. Everybody together. 1, 2 from immortal and immortal in his nature and who by his grace. Everybody say grace with me. Grace. That's a tough one. Good job. You're getting it. Okay. Let's go from the very top. By the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints. 1, 2, 3, and
by the prayers of your mother and those of our grace.
Good. Pay attention to that underline, right? And those of. So wait until you get to of to hold that note, okay? By the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints. Okay, everybody together. 1, 2, 3, and
by the prayers of your mother and those of your saints,
I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father, immortal in his nature and who by his grace. Okay, good. We'll move on. We'll come back to that. Immortal in his nature and who by his grace descended for all mankind. So then the underlines, there's two in that one. Okay. Descended for all mankind mankind to bring life and salvation. We'll just keep going until we get to the underline. All right? Does that make sense? So to bring life and salvation for our fallen human race. So human, that's where it changes up. That's where the underline is, okay? So descended for all mankind to bring life and salvation for our fallen human race. So we're just gonna do the first line, descended for all mankind, and we'll stop there, and then we'll do the next two lines together. Descended for all mankind. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and descended for all mankind. One more time. Descended for all mankind. Good. All mankind. I'm confusing you, right? Because the other one you had to go down. Now this one you go back up, right? By his grace, but this one is all mankind, right? So this is a tricky one. This is a tricky hymn. We all do it in Malayalam and stuff because we've been hearing it since we were kids, but it's actually kind of a tricky hymn to teach because it's kind of all over the place, right? It's not a strict one like some of the other hymns of the church. Okay? Descended for all mankind to bring life and salvation for our fallen human race. Okay? So can we do just that much? Descended for all mankind and finish with for our fallen human race? Let's try. 1, 2, 3, and descended
for all mankind, bring life and salvation for our fallen human race.
Excellent, excellent. All right, let's leave it there. Let's start from the top by the prayers of your mother, and we'll just go to our fallen human race, and then we'll finish next time. We'll try to get through the rest of the hymn for the next one. This one is a tricky one, especially, again, when you have a different translation because of the way the hymn is structured. And then after that, we'll work on the other melody, the other way to sing this as well, okay? So by the prayers of your mother and all your saints, we'll start there on page 158, okay? 1, 2, 3, and
By the prayers of your mother and those of all your saints, I exalt you, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father, immortal in his nature, and who by his grace descended for all mankind to bring life and salvation for our fallen human race.
okay, everybody put down the microphones. Have microphones. Everyone put them down. One more time, just without see how we sound all together. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and by the prayers of your mother and those of
All your saints, I exalt thee, Lord and King, the only begotten Son, Word of the Father, immortal in his nature, and who by his grace descended for all mankind
to bring life.
and salvation for all human race.
Good job. Good job. That's a tough one, so we'll keep working on it. Unfortunately, the first hymn of the liturgy, they give us a tough one, right? So we have to work on it a little bit longer, but you guys are doing great. That sounds really good, okay? So we'll leave it there. And next time here, God willing, we'll get through the end of it. Great job. Thank you guys. God bless. We'll say a
Okay.
quick prayer.
എല്ലാരും അച്ഛമ്മച്ചനൊരു താങ്ക്സ് പറഞ്ഞേ. താങ്ക് യു. ഇച്ചിരി അച്ഛൻ പറയേ, പിസയൊക്കെ പുറത്തുണ്ട്, ഭക്ഷണം പുറമേ ഉണ്ട്, ഒന്നുകൂടെ ശക്തി പറഞ്ഞേ. Go ahead, one more time.
Say a quick prayer, and then you guys can get on with your classes. Thank you. All right, stand up. Make us worthy as we partake of this together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Us in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, forgive our debt and sins, as we also forgive. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday.
കൈ കഴുകിയിട്ട് പോയി ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കാം കേട്ടോ എല്ലാവരും. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.